This is Andrea, your host. Before we get started or anything, I just want to wholeheartedly thank you guys for the overwhelming amount of support and love and your kind words and the reviews that you guys have left and the questions that you've sent over. I am more than eternally grateful for you guys showing up, and you have no idea how much this has motivated me and ultimately inspired me, and it's just incredibly moved me to provide you guys with more quality content, quality people, with more quality questions, with bringing you guys more and showing you guys more of the importance that there is when it comes to your mental health, your overall wellness, your firmness and your spirituality, and basically your overall growth. So I just want to thank you guys entirely for all the love that there was in the first episode, and I can't wait to grow with you guys even more and bring you with me along in these conversations. So again, I want to thank you guys before anything. So my guest today was a new mentor of mine. Unfortunately, I will not be disclosing any contact information. I could only respect that for her. However, if you do have questions, you can send them over to solfoodpc@gmail.com, and I can forward those questions over to her and then send you guys the responses. And maybe with time, she can even become your mentor if you guys are interested. But for the purposes of this episode, no contact info will be disclosed. With these conversations, and with today's especially, we wanted to focus more on the importance of hard work and grit and being firm with what you want. So we definitely did take a left turn, if I do say, compared to the first episode, since we just talked about wellness. So I really hope you guys enjoy and you've shown up with an open mind and a hunger to want to keep learning more and more from the different people that are in our community. So without further ado, go ahead and enjoy today's interview with a new mentor of mine. Okay, so how were you like as a child?
A child.
You're a child. Did you have a big imagination? When I first met you, you said something that you've always known what you wanted. So you knew that you wanted to live in this area. You knew that you wanted to drive this car. You knew that have you always been like that?
Yeah, since I was a little kid, I knew exactly what I wanted. Like, I knew how I wanted my notebook to look like.
Okay.
I knew my uniform had to be ironed and it had to be all perfect and color coordinated. So yeah.
So you've always, wow. I think that's very important, especially if you're trying to make it big or get to where you want to be. Organization. Be organized. I agree. Okay, so you have a very strong personality, and one can sense it, but in a very good way. Like, I feel your confidence and I see it. Have you always been like that?
No,
never. Did you gain it? Did life make you tough? Like, what happened?
Life made me tough. So my mom got sick when I was like 14, and so I was forced to live with my brother and his wife, and so I was forced to do things I didn't want to do, like babysit all the time and clean. So I forced myself I have to get out of that situation. So I started working and I started going to school, and I left my house at 17 and got my own apartment.
Wow.
So I became tough on my own.
You independent.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess life made you that way.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's why. But no, I was shy, fun little girl until I was put in that position to where, like, okay, I better start swimming.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Are you glad you went through that?
No, I wish I had a really good child life like my friends. You know, they had their parents and they paid for their college and they had a great life, and I didn't. Like, I had a great life, but I worked for it. Like,
Yeah.
I paid for my own school, paid for my own apartment, my new car. I bought it on my own. So nobody really handed me anything.
Right.
So
I can definitely relate to that. Like, except my parents worked all the time, so I had to take care of my sister. You know, they would drop us off at the babysitter, and the babysitter was good, I would say, with just hosting us in a house. But I would have to be the one behind her, like, don't put that in your mouth, don't eat so much food, or just changing her, making sure she didn't fall. And then my parents got a divorce, and then that's when my mom was like, okay, I gotta figure it out, and you gotta figure out your own things. And then I had to figure out how to buy my car, like you.
yeah,
I had to figure out how to pay for my school, like you. So
yeah.
I really like
That
that we
makes
have
people
that.
strong.
It does. And like you said, no one's handed you anything, so it makes you not arrogant, but very confident. And like, I worked for this, you know, you can't take it away from me, or you're not easily impressed by what other people have.
No, because if you want, you can have it. So you
Exactly.
shouldn't never be easily impressed by anyone, because if you set your head to it,
Exactly.
you'll achieve it. Like I told you, I wanted to live in North Scottsdale, and I live there.
Exactly.
So if
Exactly.
you say you want to do something, you do it.
Yeah.
And I was selling shoes
Mhm.
at Broadway, which now is Macy's. And I had a client with his mom coming to buy shoes. And he liked me, not as a girlfriend, but as an employee.
Mhm.
And he hired me to be his assistant. And he was the vice president of a bank.
Wow.
So I was his assistant for a couple of years, and then after that I was just like, well, I don't want to travel anymore, so I just want to be a loan officer.
Mhm.
And then I became a loan officer.
Do you like what you do?
I've been doing it 22 years.
Oh, you definitely like it.
Nothing else. I don't know how to do anything else.
Do you think it's important for a person to like what they do?
Yeah, I think that money is not happiness. I think that money doesn't bring you like the happiness that you would deserve. I think that what you do in life is what makes you happy in family or work. I just don't think that having a job because of the money is worth it. Life is too short to be in a job that you hate. So yes, I do great at my job, but I also love my job.
Exactly.
So
Yeah. I think I realize that now with my job. I thought I wanted to be in the position that I'm in, but I don't feel fulfilled. And I did it because I'm like, oh, it's good money. And you know what? I'm good at it. So maybe I do love it. And now that I live it every day, I'm like, what did I do? Why am I doing this? You know, and like you said, no amount of money, no amount of bags that I buy or watches or whatever fills that in, because work is the majority of our life. So like,
Yep.
imagine not liking what you do. Like, you feel like exhausted, annoyed, angry, like,
and empty.
Exactly. Like, I remember coming home angry, just angry, and I would yell at my mom and my sister, and then that's when I was like, something's wrong. And I realized I hate what I do. No wonder. And now that's why this passion project happened, because I'm trying to, this is when I feel the most alive, or the most awake, the most prendida, because you know, I'm interacting with like you or whoever I'm having that conversation with, and gaining something. You know, I don't know what I'm gaining with at the beginning of the conversation, but at the end I know I'm gonna take something valuable, more valuable than money, with me. Yeah. So who was your biggest mentor or example as you were growing
My
up?
mom.
Your mom.
My mom, she brought the entire family to the United States illegally. So, and it's 9 kids, plus
9
all their families.
Oh my.
So, and she never gave up, ever gave up. So just watching her, like now that I'm older and I understand the sacrifice she did and that she had to do, like she didn't have a choice. We didn't have a choice of saying we're gonna stay in the country we were in, so we had to leave. So just her putting the kids on a bus, not kids but adults by then, just putting them on the bus and not knowing when she was gonna see them again, just staying strong, and everybody was here before her and I arrived. We were the last ones to arrive because I was the baby. So for her to sacrifice all that, and then she came here and she still worked, and she just never gave up. So I would say my mom.
I agree.
And she didn't like mentor me, like spoke to me
Right.
beautiful words. Just watching her, what she did day in and day out, was just like complete mentor to me. So
I think actions speak louder than words.
Mhm.
So you watching her was probably the best way.
yeah, and I didn't realize it when I was young, like the sacrifice and everything she went through. But now that I'm older, and I think, what would I do in her shoes?
Mm-hmm.
Like how did she do it? Then you start thinking like, wow, because when you're young, you don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I'm older, I'm like, wow. So.
And I'm sure she believed in God and His will and His power, and it's so funny. I feel like I'm totally relating to you right now because same, my mom's done it all on her own, and she's a baby, and she raised 2 girls by herself practically. Like, we had our father figure, but he was never really there. She was always the one, making sure our home was right and making sure the girls were right, and then working 9 to 9, 12-hour days, and seeing how tired she was after a long day, and me just wanting to cater to her and telling her, like, whatever you want, I'll go get it, and then now I wish I could be like her.
Yeah.
Just her strength, like you said, their strength is unimaginably huge, and I think it's because she has God. That's all she talks about. I don't know how I did it, but He does it. That's what she tells me.
Yep.
Yeah. What has been the hardest part about your journey?
Let's see. Well, I think everything, but I think that everything hard that I've gone through in my journey has been a life lesson. So, I can't pinpoint, the hardest, because, I haven't had an easy life.
Right.
I would say the last probably 15 years, it's been like the easiest, best life I've ever had. But prior to that, I had to really, really struggle and work really hard to be where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't pinpoint anything. One thing was everything, especially when I was in my early 20s. And I was, trying to keep up with that mortgage, keep up with the car, keep up with everything.
Not only that, but you're a baby, at 20 years old, you're still trying to figure yourself out. So yeah, but I don't know. I don't regret anything. I think that everything happens for a reason. And I think that God has you on a journey you have to be in. So it's like not like you can pick a journey, That's the journey you're going to have, and that's the journey you're going to have. So, I don't know. I'm just grateful for where I'm at and where I've been. So, I have no regrets. Before, I would regret, I regret this. But now that I'm older, I don't regret anything, good or bad. Right.
So, I learned something through it.
Yeah.
So
You wouldn't be who you are today.
So when people ask me about it, I'm like, I have no regrets, and I can't say one thing that was hard. It was really nothing that was really hard. Everything was just what it had to be.
You got through everything. Right.
Yeah.
Everything had a solution.
Yeah. So that's what the life is, and that's it. So
I think one of the biggest problems that's going on in our society right now, well, more towards people my age, is that we're very impatient. And you just talked about how the last 15 years have been one of the easiest, but because you worked so hard prior to that, what would be your best advice to us? Because I can tell you right now, I am 20 and I feel like I'm behind. Like, I feel like I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. I feel like I'm not successful as I have to be, and it's just very impatient. Like, what would be your best advice?
my best advice is not to set too many goals, and set one goal at a time, achieve it, then set up the next goal and achieve it. Because one of the biggest failures in young adults right now is that they want things too fast. And number two, they are lazy. And number three, a lot of the young adults now, they have so much computer, phone, and everything else that they get distracted with all of that they're really not paying attention what's ahead. So my biggest advice to them is just do one goal at a time and achieve it. Not say, oh, okay, I didn't achieve that goal, so let me just move to the next one.
Right.
So I laugh all the time because some of my family do the grapes, for New Year's, and 12 for 12 months,
Right,
and
yeah.
da, da, da. Okay, so but what did you achieve the 12 months? By the time December comes around, you're not even going to remember what that goal was.
Exactly.
So that's why I always tell my young nieces your age, I'm like, just set up one goal, achieve it, master it, and then move on. But if you don't master one goal, why would you want to move to the next?
Right.
So I just think that a lot of people set up too many goals to themselves that they don't do any of them.
Right.
So
I think to make themselves feel better,
Yeah.
they do like this 100 goal list. And like you said, why set up 20 different things if we don't even get through one,
no, that's one of the things that I've always done is like, okay, I did one, okay, let's go to the next one.
Another thing is, one of the biggest reasons why it took me till now to launch this project was fear of rejection, fear of the unknown, basically. What do you have? What are your 2 cents to fear? What do you think fear has or fear does?
I think fear doesn't exist. It only exists in your head. People are not going to reject you, and if they reject you, they're fearless. They're fear of something. So there shouldn't be any fear. I don't believe, like, God always talks about, why are you fear? Why? So that's something that we humans have, but God didn't give you fear. God gave you faith. And he said, don't be fearless. Like, you don't fear anything, that, I will take care of you. So to me, fear, I don't fear anything. If you fear something, then you're just like scared of everything. I just had somebody say the other day to me, well, I don't want to do that because I read on the internet that it could do this and it could do that and it could do that. And I said, but did you also read the statistics that it could happen in like 1 in 100,000? So you're going to stop from doing what you want to do now because of a fear of something that could happen to one person in 100,000. You're stopping life because your fear of that could happen to you. Well, you know what? Go for it.
Yeah.
I told her, I'm like, are you kidding me? Don't be feared. Don't fear something that you don't even know if it's gonna happen to you. And if that is meant to happen to you, that was going to happen to you.
Right. Regardless of what you did.
So she stopped doing what she was doing because of some Google search. And so I don't know. I don't have fear. So, and I believe that if you bring fear into you, is the devil bringing fear? Because fear doesn't come from God.
Comes from the other side.
Mm-hmm. So don't let fear stop you from doing what you want to do.
Right. I also think it's like a thing of your ego, which also is a thing of the other side in the Bible. All ego. Your ego gets in the way. You don't want to be insulted. You don't want your idea to be spit on or whatever. But, I mean, I've been trying to meditate more and get back to who I was, because I did walk away and I did, want to do things my way, and that's when I got confused. And that's when the vision became foggy, and that's when my mom was like, go back, what are you doing? You're not in control. And then it was like, he put me in check. Like, okay, this is what happens when you try to do things by yourself. You get cloudy, you get unsure, you get ambitious, and you just go the way that you aren't supposed to go.
Mm-hmm. Just erase fear and rejection out of your mind. Do you know I get rejection almost every day from things going on?
I didn't.
Yeah, like, something didn't go the way it needed to go on a loan, and it gets rejected. Like this morning I was like, oh, this is a great loan, ready to go. It got suspended. So, those are rejections that can't stop me.
Right.
I'll just fix it.
Right.
So I just don't see that being a block.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, it's more like a challenge. I think that when you fear something, or you're afraid of what people are going to say or do or say about you, or reject what you're doing or whatever, you know what? It's their loss, not yours.
Amen.
So
I also think it's like self-sabotage, because you're afraid to do that thing.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of it, it's you in your own way.
Yep.
Definitely. To finish this off, do you have a morning routine? Something that you do every morning without fail to get your day started?
I pray before I get out of my bed.
The best morning routine.
Yep. Before I step a foot off my bed, I just pray and give thanks that I'm up. And I am a happy person in the morning. In the afternoon, I kind of drag down.
Of course.
But my husband is the opposite. He's like not
Groggy,
a happy person in the morning.
Don't
And
talk
I
to
am
me.
like the opposite. Like, turn on the radio, So, but my morning routine starts right there. And then I have to have either coffee or have tea after.
Of course.
But
of course.
the first thing I do is I open my eyes and give thanks. So, and when I don't do that, something weird, like my day doesn't go the way I want it to.
Ah.
So I think that, and I know, I'm like, what happened this morning? So
I didn't pray.
So it's something weird that I've been doing a long time, but I do know when I didn't do it.
How your day ends up
Mm-hmm.
or goes. It probably just sets you up for the day.
Yep.
It like cleanses you or
Mm-hmm.
prepares you. It's like your armor.
Yep.
You forgot to put on your armor.
Yep. So I do know that I'm different.
Oh girl, you and me both. And like I said, it's a lonely road, but we find the right people along the way, somehow. And that's it. That's the second interview. I swear I could talk to that woman all day and all night. She is such a force. She is such a incredible inspiration. Her story is amazing, and I feel like more people deserve to listen to it because it is truly, truly moving. I hope you guys enjoyed. For more content, you know where to find us here on iTunes. Go ahead and subscribe. Leave a rate, a review. Let me know what you guys want to hear more of. I am here to serve you. The channel is here to serve you through conversations, to give you answers to anything that you guys may have. This is what the project is for. Again, I am eternally grateful. I am eternally indebted to you guys, and I am so happy you guys showed up once again. For our info, or where you guys can reach us, you can find all of that on Instagram at the Soul Food, or send your questions over to our Gmail at solfoodpc@gmail.com. Thank you guys. I love you guys, and you guys will hear me soon on another episode here at the Soul Food Podcast.